Sorry, but do I have this right? This person just enrolled at the academy and now they have become a member of our house?
Yeah, that's pretty much the deal. Right, Professor Yuritsa?
Yes.
I love how you can bump into someone in the woods one night and suddenly you're living under the same roof the next. I knew we had a thing. Anyway, welcome to the Golden Deer House, where the only rule is make your own rules. Kidding, of course. Or am I?
I can't wait to eat together! Or work out. Seriously, you need to put some muscles on that coat rack you call a body.
I don't think these strange shirt buttons look is for everybody. Our new friend's build is perfect as is. Wouldn't you agree, Marianne?
Oh, well, I don't...
Okay, everyone just loosen up. And hey, it's not like we haven't met already.
I would not take after Claude if I were you, new blood.
I think Professor Yuritsa wants to say something.
Lost sight of them?
Ashamed to admit it, but yes. It's possible someone magicked the bandits away, but why go to that kind of trouble for a handful of highwaymen scum?
So be it. We'll follow the blood scent.
Right, of course.
We're leaving.
Hey, Professor Yuritsa, and away he goes. Guess we better get after him. Yuritsa.
And I say, enter the fortress. Dispatch any bandits you find.
But...
There's no cause for concern.
I'd be happy with the none option.
My grandpa told me empty forts have ghosts in them.
Ghosts? I mean, how childish. We're hunting bandits, not banshees.
Lysithea, don't tell me that you're...
You folks must be pretty confident considering how much you're horsing around.
Yeah, we'll just need to watch each other's backs. Yuritsa.
Nothing but the freshest. Also, is it just me, or are you wearing our uniform? And how do you know Professor Yuritsa? Do you go to the Officers' Academy?
She's one of last year's students. A Black Eagle.
Which would make you our senior?
Well, I was just on the verge of graduation last year. In truth, I thought I'd never breathe fresh air again. Oh, where are my manners? I'm Monica von Ox, eldest daughter of the Empire's Baron Ox.
Well, you won't make it too far as an evildoer if you can't pull the wool over people's eyes.
I can't believe someone that nasty was working right here under our noses. But wait, what if the dining hall lady is a traitor too?
As if anything would stop you from asking for seconds. Besides, what kind of villain sets their sights on someone's lunch?
Out, right?
For now, we should assume everyone could be an enemy. There's no telling where their spies might be lurking.
Well, unless you're proposing we stop eating altogether, we'd best muster a little faith.
I'd really like to stop talking about the dining hall lady now.
So, is it safe to assume Tomas hired the bandits that tried to kill us?
No one has proven he was the mastermind behind it all.
You're awfully quiet, Marianne. Is everything okay?
Oh, it's just... I suppose I'm worried about what this all means.
Hey, I understand. These walls were supposed to keep trouble out.
Wait, do you hear that outside?
Are they ready at the gates?
Yes, sir. Every exit is covered.
Well, it sounds like Tomas has returned.
Understand the reason for this sudden act of aggression. If this really is the biggest army since Fodlan's Locket was completed...
Maybe the Elmirans figured it's now or never. I mean, we're pretty much the only students left around here now.
Yeah, I heard something about a coup in Enbar and a revolt in Ferdiad.
Both serious problems that don't directly affect the Alliance. And even if word of Fodlan's troubles has reached the Elmirans...
Well, that's assuming they have all the information. If all they heard was something vague like war in the capitals...
Do you truly think so?
We need every sword hand we can get.
And you'll have me. The name's Shamir. I'm a knight of Saros. The bulk of the knights were dispatched earlier to track down Tomas, and the rest of us fanned out to the kingdom and imperial capitals.
Yeah, I was worried they might have been deployed already.
The church may not be able to lend you an army, but I'm here because I'm the best woman for the job.
So we get to see what the knight's best archer can do with the bow? I'll be counting on you as well.
It certainly sounds more interesting than staying here and twiddling our thumbs.
Sure thing. I'm in. Bad rations there or something, friend? It's not like you to be this quiet. Just saving my energy.
Your classmates are a real colorful bunch, Hilda. I like them.
Thanks, Holst. But if we're all done catching up, we might want to focus on the enemy army that's headed right for us.
Oh, so they are. The sight of your forces clearly lit a fire beneath them. Fortunately, the locket is impregnable. Good luck, all. I'm counting on you. To battle!
Let's see how... No problem, I got it.
You stand in the presence of Shahid the Great, next king of Elmyra.
Hey, could you go assist them? Let's see how this goes.
I thought I recognized you. You look just like my horror of a little brother.
Then for your brother's sake and my own, it's time to put you in your place.
It's not over.
I would make my escape if I were you. You're not gonna like what comes next.
You swine! Turn that loathsome face from my sight! In every way, you remind me of my wretch of a brother! I will be the end of you one day. I promise you that!
Shouldn't we go after him?
Nah. At the end of the day, he's still royalty. The last thing we need is some army tromping in here trying to avenge him, you know?
We did it! We won! We held the locket!
Honestly, I expected more of a struggle.
For some reason, the Elmyrans just didn't have the fight in them. If they were serious about beating us, we probably would have found our backs against the wall.
What matters is that we're safe, and no one from our house was killed.
Thanks to Holst! He was out there taking on thousands of soldiers all by himself!
I don't think it was actually thousands, although I agree, it was an impressive sight.
Makes people dangerous. We'd best stay on our toes.
You think? I felt like we did a pretty good job of slamming the door in his face just now. If it's a throne he's after, we just kicked him a little further away from it. An embarrassing loss like this ought to deter any other siblings from trying the same stunt.
If they're reasonable people, which is a big if, you should trade places with my brother for a while and see how fun it is to keep chasing the Elmyrans away.
You know what? You're right. I'm sorry.
And for that, I'm grateful. Also, Margrave Edmund showed me your budget for restorations to the locket. I hear you personally intervened to make sure the funds were secured. Between that and your impressive tact on the battlefield, the Alliance will be in good hands once you take the reins.
Hey, it's an honor to be accepted by a man as valiant as you.
That we will.
Glad to hear it. So now that the battle's over, I want to feast until I burst. Come on, let's all go toast to Lester's bright future. Hey, thanks for coming. Sorry to make you wait. I couldn't get out of there any sooner.
You're looking kinda worse for the wear. Is running the Alliance really that rough?
Yeah, well, you know what they say. What doesn't kill you, but enough about me. How are things with you? Mercenary work keeping you busy?
Hardly. I came to Regan territory expecting steady work from your house, you know, but it still hasn't materialized. How's a merc supposed to make a living like this?
To be worked out and agreed upon by the 5 great lords at the Round Table conferences. Day after day, we go round and round, arguing and bickering over this or that. And as each of the lords only truly cares about their own skin, we never actually reach a decision on anything.
No wonder you look like you've been put through the ringer. Guess being a noble's not all fun and games.
You could say that again. And while we sit around twiddling our collective thumbs, nevertheless, I'll find a way to convince the other lords that they need to commit to deploying their troops.
Hey, if there's money to be made swinging my sword around, I'm there. My coin purse will be happy about it too. Plus, it's not like I have anything better to do.
I knew you wouldn't let me down. I have high hopes for you, my friend. Now then, looks like I've got a contract to draw up.
Look who's here! It's been forever! Did you do something with your hair?
Nah, probably just lost some weight since you last saw me.
You must not be eating enough. Those arms are like chicken bones.
I imagine you've been doing a lot of mercenary work. You probably haven't had time for proper meals, what with—
Time's not the issue here. Money is. And it's been really quiet in the Alliance. The last 2 years have been hard on us mercenaries. It's not easy to land jobs when there's nobody to fight.
That's all gonna change at least.
At the last Roundtable conference, each of the 5 great lords agreed to contribute soldiers and officers to the Alliance army.
That's why I'm here. I'm guessing it's the same for you, Marianne?
Yes. My adoptive father sent me.
I'm in the same boat. Count Gloucester arranged my transfer.
Oh, that's right. You're doing the whole night thing for Lawrence's father now.
Raphael, didn't I hear your family started an inn? What are you doing here?
Claude sent me a letter asking me to come, and there was no way I'd miss this.
Same here. I guess Claude wanted to get all the golden deer back together, huh?
That pretty much sums it up. There's no way I'm getting through this war without friends I trust by my side.
And there's Claude.
Well, we are missing Lawrence.
Yeah, Count Gloucester sent one of his newest knights in Lawrence's place.
Yes. I suppose I should apologize for that.
Lord, incidentally, what were you discussing with my father?
Oh, you know, just what the lords should do in the unlikely event that the Imperial Army crosses into Alliance territory.
And how did my father respond?
With a whole lot of words, but not a lot of clarity.
Hardly surprising. My father does not even share his innermost thoughts with me.
Lawrence, let me ask you something. Would you go along with his decision?
What exactly do you mean?
Say, for example, if your father pledged his allegiance to the Empire. Into the Empire's hands, there'll be no keeping the war out of Alliance territory.
I'd hate to see innocent towns and villages getting caught in the fighting.
With the way things are going, though, I think we should be ready to abandon the bridge if necessary. If we go in determined to hold it at any cost, we could end up sacrificing a lot of lives in a battle we have no hope of winning.
If worst comes to worst, it'll be up to us to evacuate as many of our soldiers as we can.
The war with the Empire won't end with the coming battle, so I want to keep our losses to the absolute minimum.
If the Great Bridge of Myrden falls, then Garreg Mach will be in jeopardy too.
That's true. And since Edelgard is set on toppling the central church, it probably won't end well for them. What are you going to do, Shamir? Will you return to aid the monastery?
No. I have repaid my debt to Rhea. I no longer have any ties to the Knights of Seiros.
All right. Then let's adjourn this war council and get moving.
Yeah! Let's do this!
And the rest of the Central Church have apparently fled to the kingdom for sanctuary.
Then I suppose none of us will be able to visit our old school anytime soon.
I hope no one from the church was hurt.
There's no point in worrying about it now. But they're all tougher than you think.
Now that the monastery has fallen, the front lines are rapidly expanding north. It won't be long before Deirdre is within their reach. And if our capital falls, the Alliance goes with it.
That all sounds well and good.
I don't think House Edmund will be able to send more troops.
Which means House Goneril is the last of the 5 great lords.
I'm not so sure the combined forces of Houses Regan and Goneril will be enough to hold off the whole Empire.
We'll just have to work with what we've got.
Who? He speaks of Judith, the head of House Daphne.
We can definitely count on her. It helps that she seems to really like Claude for some reason.
But we can't expect much from her in terms of sheer numbers. Any chance the kingdom could send troops?
I doubt they'll have any to spare. They've just started engaging the Empire themselves over in the west of Fargus. And besides, I'm not sure how much we can really trust them. I still have no idea what's going on in Dimitri's head.
Well, we have an idea of how big our army's gonna be.
I'm still working that out. For now, all we can do is hold our ground and fight with everything we've got.
On the battlefield. Unbelievable.
I'm so sorry for the trouble.
You have nothing to apologize for. The blame rests squarely on your father's shoulders.
I think we get the picture, Judith. Save that fire for the battlefield. We're finally free of Count Gloucester and his overbearing pompousness.
Isn't that exactly why you called me here? If I'm to fill his seat, honestly, what's going on? The Alliance is facing an unprecedented crisis, and these great lords can't even show up to their own round table. Why not fill Ordelia's chair with someone like Viscount Seward?
Not happening. Can you imagine the fuss Albany and Burgundy would kick up when they learned we only asked Seward to participate? Those 3 houses have always been treated as equals. Besides, I doubt Viscount Burgundy could come even if we did invite him.
House Burgundy's circumstances are much the same as House Ordelia's.
How are we supposed to stop the Empire like this? House Goneril was supposed to swoop in and save our skins, and even they couldn't bother to attend. Himself.
House Goneril has already pledged their full support. They're not the problem here.
Then why waste our time with this conference?
Our troops were provided by the Alliance's nobles. And anyway, the entire Alliance needs to be on the same page if we're going to coordinate our military strategy.
Well, as I said, I'm afraid there's not much House Ordelia can do.
Be that as it may, we still have to get this done. This is it, folks. Right now, we need everyone focused on defending Deirdre. Here's the plan.
No clue. They could strike tomorrow for all I know.
Then I imagine there's no time to waste in formulating a plan and fortifying the city's defenses.
Yep. If we lose the initiative, the battle's practically over.
If that's the case, then why are all of you just idling the days away?
The army can't act until Claude returns from those meetings. A king or emperor can make things happen with a wave of their hand, but...
Ruling by consensus may work in peacetime, but it seems to have a distinct disadvantage during a war.
Joining the War Council at the invitation of our supreme leader here.
It is a pleasure to see you once more, Lady Judith.
You're Gloucester's kid, right? You've grown into quite a handsome boy.
I'm sure all the men here seem like little boys to someone like Judith.
Ah, Duke Goneril's daughter. You've grown quite lovely yourself.
Are you kidding? I've got a long way to go before I can compete with you.
I don't really know what you two were talking about, but I think I'm ready for it to be over.
So, you want us to hamper the Imperial Army's advance in order to delay their arrival at Deirdre?
That's right. And we'll use every bit of time we gain to tighten up our defenses around the capital.
Then we have to avoid losing too many of our allies before the battle in Deirdre.
Exactly. Hold them off as best you can, but the second you're in any real danger...
It's easy enough to order retreat after retreat.
Do you really think we can win this way?
Deirdre.
Claude, I have to ask, are you keeping some kind of incredible top-secret plan from us?
Sure, I may have something up my sleeve, but it won't amount to anything if we fail to protect Deirdre.
But if we succeed, then this plan of yours will get us out of our predicament?
Yes. Then there is still hope.
You kids are all so young. Don't do anything rash and get yourselves killed, all right?
All right. Let's reclaim all that time we wasted on the roundtable conferences.
I mean, not to say a lot didn't happen during your time there. Oh goodness, no. Students were attacked by bandits and brigands, a missing student was rescued from evildoers, Tomas fled the academy, and on top of it all, we had the incident with the mock battle trespasser.
You mean the thing I did?
Indeed, it was truly unprecedented. But we all had a good laugh at the end.
Yeah, folks still give me a hard time about that.
But even if I read the enemy perfectly and our allies do their absolute best, I can't do a thing about the odds. In the end, it's still a coin toss. It never should have come to this. If only I'd managed everything better in the first place.
Hey, don't beat yourself up about it. There was no avoiding this situation, regardless of who was leading the Alliance.
Maybe, but I'm not so sure. I can't help but feel there was another way I could have handled this. I had all these grand ambitions when I became leader, which I wanted to achieve. I've got my hands full just trying to keep the Alliance safe. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Tell me, friend. What should I do next?
Why are you asking me? I'm no fortune teller.
Fair point. I guess all we can do now is keep moving forward.
Do you think your leader is all right?
Well, I tried to cheer him up. Ultimately, all I can do is my best.
Thanks, Shamir. Your scouting prowess is unparalleled. It sounds like there's no point trying to delay them anymore. We need to pull the entire army back to Deirdre immediately. Hilda, send word to Duke Goneril and apprise him of the situation.
Leave it to me, boss.
It seems the repairs to the strongholds and gates have been completed.
We actually got it done in time, huh? All that's left is to get our troops in position and our defenses will be ready. The Imperial Army is practically at our doorstep.
Got it. I'll tell the others.
Our commanders are so young and inexperienced, myself included. We wouldn't have any hope of victory if it weren't for the combat experience you two bring to the table.
You're putting a lot of stock in my skills, little Claude.
If you can just get us through this fight, I'll be able to turn the tables.
Who do you think I am, boy? You've got nothing to worry about.
You've just got to believe in your friends, Claude. If anyone can do this, it's us.
That's what I'm betting on. Now let's win this.
Yeah!
Claude, we're able to move the ships now!
Nice work. If we bring them this way, we can use them as a bridge.
Attack! Give them no quarter!
Leicester's mightiest hero has come to our aid. We can't be defeated now.
Get those ships over here!
Repelled the first wave of their assault. The Empire has been funneling a great deal of troops into Leicester since taking control of the Great Bridge of Murden. I expect they'll have plenty of reinforcements at the ready.
Sharp as ever, Holst. I was thinking the same thing.
But you still have your plan, right?
I believe it is high time you explain exactly what scheme you hold up your sleeve.
Just keep your eyes on the enemy and you'll know soon enough. Assuming the plan actually succeeds, that is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if that's what our leader says, we'll just have to monitor the Imperial Army and await good news.
If you are satisfied with that, Lord Holst, then it will have to suffice.
I don't get it. Why are you still being so tight-lipped about this plan?
Just keeping my promise to a certain individual who also happens to be the linchpin of this entire scheme. And, Lawrence, apologies in advance.
Why are you apologizing only to me? That feels somewhat disquieting. Oh, very well. I shall wait to see just what it is you have been scheming. But to be clear, if this plan of yours fails, the Alliance is finished.
Yes, I'm well aware. Failure isn't an option.
Gloucester forces have launched a surprise attack on the Great Bridge of Murden.
What did you say?
The Imperial forces were caught completely off guard and have been driven back. The bridge is once again under Alliance control.
He also said that Count Ordelia is working with Count Gloucester to fortify southern Leicester.
Using a false surrender to draw the enemy into a disadvantageous position. I take it that was your plan, my lord?
House Gloucester and House Ordelia never really betrayed the Alliance.
I hope you can all forgive me. I knew the whole time, but my father had sworn me to secrecy.
You knew about this, Lysithea? But, Claude, why was I not informed?
Again, I'm sorry about that. Your father made me swear not to say anything until it was over and done with.
But why?
That's not it, Lawrence. But it's also not my place to speak for your father. You should ask him yourself the next time you see him.
So, what's this pincer thing?
The territory on the opposite end of the Great Bridge is controlled by Count Burgles, who is said to be the Empire's greatest warrior.
If his forces were to attack the bridge from one end, while the Imperial troops still in Alliance territory attacked it from the other...
I see where this is going.
I hate to ask this of you when you're still exhausted from the last battle, but I'm going to need one more push from each of you. Hey, what more could you want? All the best plans are easy to understand. Trust me, it's a sure win.
Yeah, even I know what's going on now.
We just have to herd the Imperial Army into Western Regan territory.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Just remember that the enemy knows this is their last stand. I want to finish them off before Count Burgles has a chance to muster a sizable army and mount an attack.
What are you doing in a place like this?
Oh, hey, I'm not up to much.
Your plan's going well, huh? We've managed to corral most of the Imperial forces that are still in the Alliance.
Everything's moving like clockwork. At this rate,
You don't seem too happy about it. Hasn't this whole war been unfolding exactly the way you thought it would?
So far, yeah. Unless we find a way to stop them. And when that happens, we'll be taking on Count Burgles himself. It'll be a brutal fight, no matter how many angles we try to play. And the Almirans could decide to drop in on us again at any time. There are limits to how far I can map things out. But the Alliance won't survive unless I account for every possibility. I'm dancing as fast as I can here, but there's no end in sight.
You don't have to shoulder all that weight by yourself. I'm sure we can figure out a plan if everyone puts their heads together.
Now, there's an idea. Hey, would you be willing to hash it out with me?
My name is Holst Sigisvald Goneril.
It is an honor to meet you. Even those of us from the Empire have heard tales of your valor. I am Ferdinand von Eyre, and this army is under my command.
I come as a representative for the Leicester Alliance. I'm sure you can guess what I'm planning to say.
You are here to ask for our surrender, I take it.
Your army is surrounded with no hope of victory or retreat. There would be no dishonor in laying down your arms.
The lives of those who serve him just for that?
Actually, his troops' morale seemed unexpectedly high. I believe they've steeled themselves for a fight to the death. Not without exception, of course. One of his officers was hiding under a table, and I noticed some dispirited soldiers about their camp.
Hiding under a table? That has to be Bernadetta.
Since we couldn't convince Ferdinand to give up on this desperate last stand, we have no choice but to give him what he wants. Did you manage to find Ferdinand and his troops?
No, but I spotted tracks that suggest they fled toward Garreg Mach.
So they've given up on the southern route and are making their way back to the Empire by circling west.
I'm just relieved that Ferdinand is still alive.
I must admit.
Yeah, same here. I just wish we could have caught him, though.
Well, if he does, I'll just chase him away. I'll send that guy packing as many times as we need.
I'm more worried about Geralt and his mercenaries.
I'm with you on that.
But, Holst, can you really afford to be away from our territory for so long?
My, this conversation's certainly gotten heated.
Seems like this kind of decision would need one of those conferences, huh?
That's how it goes around here, yeah.
For House Goneril, we vote yay.
And how say you, Count Gloucester?
I have decided to yield House Gloucester's seat to my son. Lawrence, you—
Before I do, might I inquire as to the position of Count Ordelia?
Count Ordelia couldn't attend in person, at which time he expressed that House Ordelia would support the opinion of the council.
Then House Gloucester will join Houses Edmund and Goneril and offer no objection.
Then with the approval of all houses, the Alliance will move forward with the proposal.
Huh.
And share of the funds we'll need.
My adoptive father views this war as just another investment.
And he has every right to a return comparable to his contribution. Now, Lawrence, since you're the head of House Gloucester—
Given the treachery House Gloucester has shown the Alliance as of late, I did not believe we were in any position to object to your proposal.
That so-called treachery was all part of the plan to save the Alliance.
Laudable results do not erase duplicitous intent.
Yeesh. All right, let's ask someone else. This fight is about protecting our future. So I'm asking you all to lend me your strength.
Oh, all right. I'm sure you must have agonized over this decision.
I suppose the die has been cast. What matters now is that we win.
That's true. All right. I'll steel my resolve and fight.
That reminds me. Oh no. What you doing, Balti?
Shh, quiet. You'll give me away.
Huh? Give you away to who?
Okay, they're gone. Hey! Think you two could lend me a little coin?
Are you seriously going to pretend nothing happened just now? And asking us for money on top of it?
Must be pretty deep in the red if they followed you all the way out here.
Well, the debts of a man like me tend to leave those of your average deadbeat in the dust. Still, pretty bold of them to think I'd fork it over so easy.
The only bold one here is you, Balti. You should pay back the money you borrowed. Hey! Are you listening to me?
No, actually. Sorry. Anyway, gotta go.
If you're heading to dinner, we'll come with you.
What? Oh, no, you've got the wrong idea. We just ran into Balthus is all.
I see. And what did he want?
Some debt collectors were after him. He seemed pretty worried about it, actually.
Curious.
Right? I mean, Balti shakes off debt collectors the way other people change their underwear.
Yes, he usually manages to drive them hence with some combination of threats and outlandish excuses. Perhaps this time they've sent more formidable bounty hunters after his hide.
Wait, there's a price on his head?
Sadly, in addition to racking up and running out on debts far and wide, our friend Balthus has also been picking more than his usual share of fights.
Huh. I knew the guy liked to gamble, but I didn't know he'd taken it that far.
I think Balti would have been fine by himself.
Don't say such things, Hilda. You'll make Balthus cry.
No, she won't.
But was it not your own stepmother who hired those assassins?
80% sure, yeah. And hey, it wouldn't be the first time she's come after me.
This is inexcusable. I will speak to House Albrecht about the matter at once.
Don't bother. My little bro's already stuck running that family.
The same little bro whose mother is trying to have you killed? Why protect him?
Have now.
So earlier, you said something about how it was good your stepmother wanted you dead. What was that about?
See, she's got something of a persecution complex. What do you think would happen if she set her sights on my dad or my real mom instead of me?
Wait, so your real mother is still alive? I heard stepmother and just assumed...
Yeah, it's kinda complicated. Basically, she's living in hiding somewhere in the mountains now. Anyway, that's the long and short of it. So you don't...
The rumors sell you short, young man.
Likewise, sir. But I'm glad to see you're tougher than they say.
All Alliance forces! Fall back! Retreat!
You can run all you like.
This way! Hurry!
Sorry, Claude. I lost again.
I'm starting to think that mercenary really is a demon. Even in a fair fight, we end up looking like chumps. Listen, something's come up. We have to pull out now. It kills me to say it, but our victory here will have to wait for another day.
Got it. Let's get out of here.
Of all the times. On what scale?
From what I gather, it's bigger than the force we faced 2 years ago. We need to get back to the Alliance, and fast.
But the attack 2 years ago was supposed to be the biggest one we've faced in a whole century.
The Duke always keeps a careful eye on developments in the east.
Even if Duke Goneril and the neighboring lords rally all their remaining troops...
We'll be cutting it close, but that's what Fodlan's Locket is for. It should take the Almirans a while to break through that hulking chunk of stone.
We're not moving fast enough. I'll go on ahead. My lord, I leave it to you to finish things here.
Sure thing. We'll be right behind you. Just try and hold out until we get there. Everyone prepare for a full withdrawal. If we don't get home soon, we won't have one to return to.
Anytime soon.
And here I'd thought we won.
As did I.
Who knew the Ashen Demon had that kind of strength? Not that I'm making excuses. You gave me power of my own, and it still wasn't close to enough.
That's not true.
Of course it is. What am I even up against here? It's like I looked away for 1 second, and suddenly I was facing someone else entirely.
That would explain what was troubling me before. That is the unique danger I sensed. Achieve your goals.
A glove does not defy the hand, and yet you've done just that. So this is my name. Yet I am also called the Beginning. I am progenitor and mother to all who call Fodlan home.
Where am I?
I am not here to answer all you ask, yet I will grant the one. You stand before my throne. If you so wish, then take a seat. You lack the power to resist.
My flesh? What are you saying?
You should not have interfered. Oh, that one vexes me so. When next we meet, I must step in and deal with them myself. It is quite clear that you cannot my power safely wield.
Not in the slightest. I have so many questions.
Hey, lazy bones. Get up already. You sure you're all right? You don't seem like yourself.
I'm fine. Just a strange dream.
Like the ones you used to have.
Yes, but this time we talked.
Huh?
You fool! That was no dream!
Ugh.
What's wrong?
Do you lack wits? My voice is not for him. Whenever I speak, it is for you alone.
On second thought,
I think there is something wrong. I mean, my hair's still a different color, right?
Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
That's what counts, right? Come on, Claude.
Sounds like I'm the one who needs to get his head on straight. Okay, time to put all that behind us and focus on driving back this invasion.
Of Daphne.
Irvin, do my ears deceive me, or...
I do not jest. Your being here is the only thing preventing me from surrendering to the Empire this very instant.
You can drop the traitorous villain act. I know you've done more for the Alliance than anyone else.
You give me far too much credit. All that has ever mattered to me is ensuring the well-being of the common folk in my territory.
And that's what makes you a great lord in my book.
Indeed. Now I am but a humble retiree, ready to enjoy my decrepitude.
I can live with a few broken bones. Just show me what you've got.
If I do, broken bones will be the least of your worries. I'm well aware of your strength. I'd be in for a world of trouble myself if I held anything back.
So, is there anything I can do to convince you?
If you're that insistent about it, I suppose there is one thing that would change my mind.
You mean if I made a move on Hilda?
Time to get out of here and shake things up.
Sneaking off in the dead of night again, Balthus? Is it too much to ask that you not break every rule in the book?
Yeah, hey, Holst. Sure is a pleasant evening for a little stroll, yeah?
You can't honestly believe I'd fall for that. You know I'm going to have to write you up for this.
You have to do what you have to do, I guess. Or you could just come with me. What do you say?
If you haven't noticed, I'm trying to help you. Oh, very well. I'll join you.
Thought so. An upstanding guy like you would never... Hold on, back up a sec. You're actually coming?
That's right, Balthus. On one condition. I decide where we're going tonight.
Fine by me. But what's your game here? You've never been one for bending the rules. Alright, your turn to share, pal. Hard as it is to believe, there are only so many tales about the storied king of grappling.
Very well. The truth is, Balthus, I'm gravely worried about Hilda.
Oh yeah? What's been going on?
Her behavior has been peculiar as of late.
She seemed fine when I ran into her today. You sure you're not just imagining things?
I've got years of experience on me.
Still, you're skilled, and you've got brains, which means you're more promising than the average rookie.
I hope you're right. I have to distinguish myself at some point.
You're talking about Gerald from that mercenary band, right?
Yep. He visited my village when I was a kid, and I practically begged him to make me his apprentice. I was probably a huge nuisance, but I was so desperate to get out of my village and be independent, Gerald treated me like an annoying little brat at first. But eventually, he taught me for real.
That's a tasty-looking roast you've got there, Claude.
Oh, hey, Raphael. I nabbed it from the base we took over the other day. Plus, it's about to go bad, so there's no point in trying to ration it out to the troops.
You're giving it to me! Oh, yes!
Hold on there, big guy. Nobody can eat all of this alone, not even you. I was actually thinking we could all feast on it together. Want to help me cook it?
Bet I do! Might mean my stomach goes a little emptier, but feasting with the whole team adds a spice like no other. Just leave the rest to me. I'll kick this meat party off in style.
Hey, make sure you take it to the mess hall. Wow, this looks incredible. Color me impressed, Raphael. To be worked out and agreed upon by the 5 great lords at the Round Table conferences. Day after day, we go round and round, arguing and bickering over this or that. And as each of the lords only truly cares about their own skin, we never actually reach a decision on anything.
No wonder you look like you've been put through the ringer. Guess being a noble's not all fun and games.
You could say that again. And while we sit around twiddling our collective thumbs, nevertheless, I'll find a way to convince the other lords that they need to commit to deploying their troops.
Been forever. Did you do something with your hair?
Nah, probably just lost some weight since you last saw me.
You must not be eating enough. Those arms are like chicken bones.
I imagine you've been doing a lot of mercenary work. You probably haven't had time for proper meals, what with...
Time's not the issue here. Money is. And it's been really quiet in the Alliance. The last 2 years have been hard on us mercenaries. It's not easy to land jobs when there's nobody to fight.
in case Elmira decides to take another run at our borders. Besides, I'm not about to let the Empire see our best card on the first play. It's always been my plan to have you all here, and I'm sure we'll be reunited with Lawrence before long. After all, we'll be passing through Gloucester territory very shortly.
The Aramid River serves as the border between the Alliance and Empire. That is the plan. Yes, Claude?
That's right. There are many large bridges spanning the Aramid, but the terrain on the eastern bank is less than ideal. The Great Bridge of Myrden is the only one suitable for crossing into the Alliance with a significant military force. So if the Empire is looking to attack us, blockading the Great Bridge will severely limit their options. Of course, that means the enemy will do everything in their power to take control of it. So, while I'm happy to see you all again, I'm afraid we don't have time to reminisce.
He's right. We need to get ready to move out.
Men?
I understand your request, but I make no promises to honor it at this time. Pardon my candor, but I shall observe how this war progresses and then make the decision myself.
Oh, Father!
The current Alliance leader and I have finished our discussion. I will be taking my leave now.
Everything okay, Claude?
On the contrary, our conversation couldn't have been more pleasant.
If that was meant to be a joke, you will note that I am not laughing.
The Great Bridge of Myrden is the only one suitable for crossing into the Alliance with a significant military force. So if the Empire is looking to attack us, blockading the Great Bridge will severely limit their options. Of course, that means the enemy will do everything in their power to take control of it. So, while I'm happy to see you all again, I'm afraid we don't have time to reminisce.
He's right. We need to get ready to move out.
Men?
I understand your request, but I make no promises to honor it at this time. Pardon my candor, but I shall observe how this war progresses and then make the decision myself.
Oh, Father!
The current Alliance leader and I have finished our discussion. I will be taking my leave now.
Everything okay, Claude?
On the contrary, our conversation couldn't have been more pleasant.
If that was meant to be a joke, you will note that I am not laughing.
You think Count Gloucester's going to betray us, Claude?
Of course not. It's just a hypothetical.
Well, then that's a serious what-if. Almost sounds like you're trying to provoke Lawrence.
No, it is quite all right. In fact, it is a perfectly reasonable query. However, my father takes tremendous pride, and I, for one, still have faith in him.
I won't deny that your father is a great man. I just wish he regarded me with anywhere near the same level of esteem. Good luck out there.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't sound like things are going so good. We'll be able to hold the bridge, right?
I wish I could say for sure, but I honestly have no idea. While we've been taking our sweet time getting situated, the enemy's been strengthening their position.
Claude, we are nearing the breaking point.
Oh boy. Things must be getting really dire if Count Gloucester sent word as well. Into the Empire's hands, there'll be no keeping the war out of Alliance territory.
I'd hate to see innocent towns and villages getting caught in the fighting.
With the way things are going, though, I think we should be ready to abandon the bridge if necessary. If we go in determined to hold it at any cost, we could end up sacrificing a lot of lives in a battle we have no hope of winning.
If worst comes to worst, it'll be up to us to evacuate as many of our soldiers as we can.
The war with the Empire won't end with the coming battle, so I want to keep our losses to the absolute minimum.
If the Great Bridge of Myrden falls, then Garreg Mach will be in jeopardy too.
That's true. And since Edelgard is set on toppling the central church, it probably won't end well for them. What are you going to do, Shamir? Will you return to aid the monastery?
No. I have repaid my debt to Rhea. I no longer have any ties to the Knights of Seiros.
All right. Then let's adjourn this war council and get moving.
Yeah! Let's do this!
And the rest of the central church have apparently fled to the kingdom for sanctuary.
Then I suppose none of us will be able to visit our old school anytime soon.
I hope no one from the church was hurt.
There's no point in worrying about it now. But they're all tougher than you think.
Now that the monastery has fallen, the front lines are rapidly expanding north. It won't be long before Deirdre is within their reach. And if our capital falls, the Alliance goes with it.
That all sounds well and good.
I don't think House Edmund will be able to send more troops.
I doubt they'll have any to spare. They've just started engaging the Empire themselves over in the west of Fargus. And besides, I'm not sure how much we can really trust them. I still have no idea what's going on in Dimitri's head.
Well, we have an idea of how big our army's gonna be.
I'm still working that out. For now, all we can do is hold our ground and fight with everything we've got.
You said it was about to go bad, right? I had to grill it up as quick as I could.
I mean, it wasn't going bad in a matter of minutes, but this is a huge help. Weird. It felt like that was more than we could ever finish. But just mention food to the crew and it's gone in an instant.
Too bad, too. I was thinking I could split any leftovers we had with Maya and my grandpa.
Really? It would sure be nice if the round table would propose strategies that are young and lively. They're all so conservative and selfish. I think a few lines here or there would actually help me fit in.
Really? You know what they say. If you're too set in your ways, it'll set on your face. So whatever you do, just make sure you don't end up some beady-eyed king with a face full of wrinkles.
I just can't win with you, can I?
I think you're missing the point, Claude.
Is my way really the right path forward? It feels like I'm rejecting everything Lester used to be up until now. Like I'm tearing something important away from the people who need it most. Are you sure you won't regret lighting this fire in me?
I don't know. Maybe I will. I'll probably get mad at you at some point, too. But I know how hard you work to keep the Alliance heading in the right direction. You're the smartest leader we've ever had, Claude. If I was a betting girl, I'd say you're going to come up with the best plan ever. With
stances, you know? So it's tricky to figure out what's really fair.
But you're their leader. Can't you just make a bunch of decisions and get it over with?
No can do, I'm afraid. I may be the leader, but I'm still just one of the 5 great lords. Sure, I may be the idea man, but I don't have the authority to enforce anything on my own. On top of all that, most nobles are experts at focusing on what's good for their own territory instead of what would benefit the Alliance as a whole. When priorities clash, the debates just go around and around in endless circles.
Do you really think you'll win the war like this?
I hear you, believe me. The process works much better in times of peace. What's worse is that it's near impossible to get a read on the situation. Say, mind if I pick your brain? What would you do in my shoes?
Me? You gotta just give him a nice whoosh. Deal with him that way.
Uh-huh. Whoosh. You care to spell that one out for me?
What I'm saying is, why not just get rid of all the talking?
You mean get rid of the Alliance's council altogether?
Exactly. If you give yourself more authority, then it won't take as long to make decisions.
Hilda. Sorry you got dragged into this, Marianne.
No, it's all right. So, what should I do?
Could I ask you to organize all the weapons and armor here by type? I'm going to start with separating the useful stuff from the broken stuff. I was apparently supposed to put each category of item into a different box and take them all to storage, but the message got lost somewhere along the way, which is why everything's now in this giant pile.
Hilda, when I told you to take responsibility for your tasks, I didn't mean you had to burden yourself with absolutely everything.
Right, got it. I'll definitely be more careful.
Well, why don't the two of you take a short break? This mess clearly isn't going anywhere.
I'm so sorry, Hilda. This is all my fault.
Don't worry about it. I mean, it's actually my fault in the first place, you know? But I've already bathed, and I really don't want to get all sweaty and gross again.
Wait, is that you? You smell amazing.
I know! I use floral oils. I've got a whole bunch of them, and I mix and match based on the situation or just...
Wow, that's impressive.
I bet you're wondering why I'd go to all that trouble, right? One whiff of something nice can turn a person's entire day around.
I get that, but I don't really think it's for me. I'm always training or hunting or something, and the constant sweat would probably wash it right off.
Which is exactly why you should use floral scents. Then you'll smell like a delightful bouquet and not some kind of hog farmer. I mean, you're cute already, but you could be the whole package if you just leaned into it.
Who knows? Could finish today. Might take longer.
Well, if someone asks where you are, what should I tell them?
Say you don't know, which is the truth. Later.
Shamir, wait.
Yeah?
Are you going to meet a special someone, maybe?
Actually, I'm ending a relationship. Special in its own way, I guess, but not how you mean.
I sure hope you're right about that.
Who knows where Khalid is now? But I can just imagine the look of despair on his face when he hears of what I have accomplished.
He has no clue how to lead an army this big, and yet he's already bragging of his victory. I'm under no obligation to follow Shahid any further. Perhaps it's finally time to do as I please.
I feel like I'm missing something.
My lord, we have made ready to intercept the attackers and await your signal.
Right. Here goes. Listen up, everyone. The enemy may have an advantage in size, but they're little more than a disorganized mob. We can defeat them. No, we will defeat them. Drive them back today, and we'll toast our victory tonight. Charge! Hurry. Blame me all you want. Give it up, Shahid. It's over. You lost.
Let fly that arrow, then. I'll never kneel to the likes of you!
But that isn't what I'm asking for you to do here. Let's end this. Come on.
You little brat. I'd sooner die!
Thanks. Look, Claude. If you can't do it, then I will.
No. This is my burden to bear. I never wanted things between us to end this way. I'm so sorry, brother.
I'm sorry, Claude. It looked like you were hesitating, so I...
Don't worry about it. I never would have found my resolve if not for you.
So that Shahid guy, was he your...
Don't say it. Honestly, it's not even about that. That look of desperation on his face just tugged at my heartstrings is all.
I'm sorry, Claude. It looked like you were hesitating, so I...
Don't worry about it. I never would have found my resolve if not for you.
So that Shahid guy, was he your...
Don't say it. Honestly, it's not even about that. That look of desperation on his face just tugged at my heartstrings is all. You know, I thought a guy like me would be impervious to this kind of thing. Looks like I don't know myself as well as I thought. But now that I know, I won't make the same mistake again. We should go. Everyone's waiting for us.
Claude.
Before you joined House Regan, you mean? How did you two come to meet in the first place? It is difficult to fathom the circumstances that would lead someone in Fodlan to...
It's a long story, so I'll just cut to the chase. It turns out Elmira isn't as unified as many believe. After the battle 2 years ago, I went to Nadir to see if there was a way we could partner up if something like that were to happen again.
Wait, Holst, you've already met him?
Yes. Nadir the Unstoppable and I have been nemesis of a sort for years now.
It's actually Nadir the Undefeated, but go on.
But when we met, he declared that he was willing to band together, if doing so would prevent Elmira's name from being sullied. Well, that right there nearly moved me to tears. Before long, we were drinking and celebrating our newfound brotherhood.
You all helped me prevent another blow to Elmira's reputation. Now, in Elmira, it's traditional to throw a grand feast after a battle. We eat, sing, and dance till we can't move anymore.
Oh yeah? Claude has the same tradition. Wait.
We may have failed to capture any Imperial territory, but we succeeded in defending the Alliance. So tonight, we celebrate in style. I hope you're all ready, because it's gonna be a feast for the ages.
This is delicious. It has a nice, delicate sweetness to it. It really does. I wish I could share some with Dorte.
Dorte? Who's that?
Oh, that's your friend, right, Marianne? The horse one.
My brother! You haven't had nearly enough to drink! Come on now, bottoms up!
And you need to eat something. I prepared the food myself, you know. Try the mushrooms. They came out perfect.
The war is far from over.
Thought a little fresh air would do me good.
Hit the bottle a little too hard? Can't say I blame you.
Yeah, that could be it.
You've got to wonder what's really running around in that mind of his. He never revealed his dealing with Count Gloucester. He's probably hatching a new scheme right now.
What are you thinking about, Claude?
Huh? Oh, not much. Just letting my mind wander a bit now the battle's finally over. Where's the love? These round tables are supposed to symbolize the Alliance's ideals, you know.
Sorry about that. I was out of line.
No worries, my friend. That's exactly why we made the decision we did today.
What decision? Is that why you called us here?
Hold your horses. Everyone, listen up. Representatives known as the 5 Great Lords. As the Alliance leader, it has been House Regan's responsibility to convene the Round Table and secure the approval of the other lords on matters of policy. The Lords of the Alliance felt this was the best system to serve the welfare of their people. And in peacetime, maybe it was. But there's no denying that the Round Tables have hindered our ability to respond swiftly to emergency situations. And it doesn't seem like Leicester's current state of emergency is going to end anytime soon.
Accept our former leader as our new king, and continue working together to defend Leicester.
So everyone, are you with me?
This must be why my father was in such a hurry to hand over leadership of our house to Holst.
The former Duke Goneril was a ringleader of sorts for the lords who opposed the establishment of the Federation. That said, he's been looking to put Holst in charge for a while now. Maybe this was just the perfect opportunity.
Just the person I was looking for. Do you have plans for the rest of the day?
No, not really. I'm surprisingly free for once.
An admirable use of time. But I have a task I could use your help with that should prove even more enriching than training. Will you join me?
Hey, if you're asking, I'm in.
I thought as much. Come, we leave at once.
Isn't this...
Shh! Lower your voice. There may well be sentries on patrol nearby.
So this is enemy territory. Great.
See that encampment over there? They set up just a few days ago. It's difficult to tell from here, but it doesn't seem to be that big of an operation.
Wait, so this is a recon mission? Don't we have scouts for this sort of thing?
I've been trying to ascertain how far the enemy has advanced, but lately they've tightened up their security. Too many of our scouts have gone missing. Thought it would be more efficient to look into the matter personally.
Still, I've never heard of a duke doing recon.
It saves everyone time if I do it myself, and I don't have to risk any more valuable soldiers. And besides, this way I can gain even more experience in the field.
Speak for yourself. I had no idea what I was getting into, so I'm not close to ready for whatever's ahead.
Well, you're not the type to go down so easily. Trust me, you'll thank me for this later. And don't make light of reconnaissance. There are many lessons to be learned out here that training could never hope to teach you.
All right, so what's next?
Might as well, yes. It couldn't hurt to get into a little scuffle and gauge the enemy's strength.
Sounds like the perfect opportunity to see you fight up close.
Hey there, got time for a little chat?
I do, but don't you kind of have a lot going on right now? Oh, I should probably be using your title now, shouldn't I? Since you're a king and all, your majesty.
Call me whatever you want. I'm still the same Claude.
I was shocked when I heard you were going to be the king of Leicester. Never imagined you'd be able to unify the Alliance and make it all official.
Hey, it was your idea. Don't tell me you forgot.
Sorry, it's not ringing any bells.
Seriously? Wow. Guess that's just you being you, though. You said that the Alliance should get rid of the Round Table system so we could act more decisively.
Oh yeah, I did say that. But I didn't expect you to remake the whole Alliance as a federation.
Alliance, Federation, they're the same thing with different names.
I guess it makes sense when you put it that way.
You're a strange one, you know that? I find myself actually wanting to open up to you. It's probably because you don't seem to have any strings attached. Makes it easy to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm just a wandering mercenary. All my life,
Right. You were taken in pretty young, weren't you?
Hey, still alive?
Think it'd be pretty obvious if I wasn't. But yes.
Well, that's a relief. However, I noticed your approach to battle hasn't changed one bit. You still charge to the front and dive right into the thick of it.
I was trying to be careful, but I guess it didn't really work.
At some point, I'm not sure when, I became convinced that my brother would never die.
What made you think that?
I'm not sure. But it's not like there's anyone out there who can beat him, right? When I realized that, it just seemed like a waste of time to worry about him so much.
If anything, you should be pitying the chumps on the other side.
Precisely. And then I realized it's the same with you. You're just like my brother.
It's an honor to be put in the same category as Holst.
Now I know I'm wasting my time worrying about you. I actually hope you keep doing what you do, so I can take it easy in the back.
It's the plan, but I'm pretty sure I've seen you fighting up front with me recently. You even seem to be enjoying yourself.
Me? Enjoying myself? Please. If I'm fighting at the front, it's because I have no other choice. The whole time I'm fighting, I'm wishing I could be cheering everyone on from the sidelines instead. You know, yelling stuff like, "Smash 'em good!" and "Yeah, use those muscles!" We inspire our troops, right? And remember, this is me we're talking about.
Sure, you could motivate anyone.
I know, right? Next time, I'll cheer for you too. You'll see how inspiring it can be.
All right, sounds good. I'll keep an ear out.
Indeed. Sometimes they even claim I sleep too much, which is completely different from taking a break.
Wait, how is sleeping not a break?
Alas, how unfortunate. It appears you and I will not be able to reach common ground on this matter.
Laying it on a bit thick, aren't you?
That reminds me of something. Did I not see the injured comrade responsible for this storehouse?
Sure did. He said he wanted to help me out, so I asked him to take over.
You launched an unprovoked attack against us after all.
Attack? The Empire merely responded to an invitation from Viscount Acheron of House Phlegethon. Alas, fortune turned against him at the Great Bridge of Myrden, and he perished in the battle. As a result, we did garrison our army in Gloucester territory for a brief time. But I would hardly call that an unprovoked attack.
Huh. And dead men tell no tales, right? Although I'll grant you that he sold us out to the Empire.
Whatever transpired, the Empire and the Alliance did end up at war with one another. And I do not deny that the Imperial Army caused harm within Alliance territory. We are prepared to offer appropriate restitution for that.
That works. We'll take tangible resources over insincere apologies any day. We can hash out the definition of appropriate later. Want to move on to the real reason we're here?
Yes, by all means. I trust you read my letter? The Central Church must be eliminated before Fodlan can be reborn. Your help would go a long way towards accomplishing that.
Oh, I read it all right. And from a personal standpoint, it's something I can get behind. But as the leader of the Federation, I can't say the same. You can't expect the people of Leicester to embrace this Southern Church that you've dredged up out of nowhere.
Must take issue with that assertion.
Nonsense. You hastily resurrected some dusty old sect and appointed the Empire's own Minister of Religious Affairs as its bishop. Do you honestly expect us to acknowledge such an obvious sham?
None of us will shed any tears if you do not.
We do not care where the Federation places its faith, so long as it is not in the Central Church. Knowing you, I am certain you will carefully consider the costs and benefits.
All right. I'm in. Holst, do you feel satisfied with those terms?
Everything looks good to me. I'm especially glad we found a solution to the control of Myrden.
Hubert, I trust you have no objection?
None, Your Majesty.
Then let us conclude our discussions for now, and go inform the world that Adrestia and Leicester have joined forces for a brighter future.
Sounds like a plan to me. I, Claude von Regan, King of the Leicester Federation, hereby swear this pact. Leicester pledges to work in harmony with the Adrestian Empire, and do everything in its power to secure a peaceful future for Fodlan.
By the covenant between the red blood and the white sword that crowns the double-headed eagle, I, Edelgard von Hresvelg, hereby swear this pact. Adrestia pledges to work hand-in-hand with the Leicester Federation, to deliver peace to the land and secure a future for all its people.
The pact is sealed.
And now it is our job to uphold it.
This is the only way we can end the war quickly while maintaining Leicester's independence.
And for that purpose, you would throw Fargus to the wolves, despite holding no animosity towards them?
You and I may not hold any grudges, But if you look to our history, you'll see it was the kingdom who tossed us to the wolves first. When our people were fighting for independence from the Empire, Fargus attacked and conquered Leicester for themselves. And even after we finally won our freedom in the Crescent Moon War, they've continued to meddle in our affairs, like causing that rift in House Daphne. Besides, they're harboring the Central Church, and I can't condone that. I've always been skeptical of that dogma they preach. It's just a way for them to force their own belief system onto everyone else.
Claude, are you saying that you intend to destroy our current system of nobility?
I have news. A battle has broken out in ALL between Imperial troops and the Knights of Seiros.
The Imperial Army has already stationed troops as far north as ALL?
That's a little too close to Daphne territory for my liking.
It seems Catherine is commanding the Knights. The Imperial troops are in for a serious fight.
Fast. We have not finished our conversation. Just what exactly are your intentions for Fodlan?
Honestly, I want to break this place wide open and tear down every last one of its insular customs. If we can't do that, then there's no real path forward.
Are you sure? How exactly are you planning to explain all that to the people in the Federation who adhere to the Church's teachings?
Oh, I already have something in mind. In fact, I'll need your help to see it through.
Well, you'll have it. I just hope whatever you've got up your sleeve is actually a good idea.
It is. Judith, Lawrence, I need you to trust me and follow my lead for now. Now, let's go wipe out those knights near Daphne territory.
You good with this, Shamir?
I told you before. I'm not part of the Knights of Seiros anymore.
But we're gonna be fighting Catherine this time. Didn't you two used to be real close?
We were partners back then, but that's all in the past. Now we walk our own paths. I won't hesitate to do what must be done.
Not even a hint of doubt.
Imperial army is being led by Randolph, one of Count Burghley's relatives. He's supposed to be quite a formidable warrior, but then again, he's up against Thunder Catherine.
Even so, it doesn't look like the battle will be decided anytime soon.
But won't things get real bad for the Imperial Army if we don't bail them out soon?
I'm sure they will. But if we rush in without a solid plan, we'll be the ones getting stuck with the business end of Thunderbrand. We'll swoop in with a surprise attack right when their defeat seems all but certain.
You should listen to what your commander is saying, Your Majesty. Everyone else feels the same way, myself included. You're the king of the Leicester Federation. You have to conduct this war in a way that inspires people to follow you.
I hear what you're saying, but what good does it do if we fight honorably just to lose?
Why are you assuming we'd lose? You should know better than to write off your own army like that. Don't you agree, kid?
You need to have more faith in us. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to put our faith in you.
You're not fighting this war by yourself. We're all a team here, so you need to sit down and have a long, hard think about what that really means.
Okay. I'll give it some thought. But I can't guarantee I'll arrive at the answer you want me to. I'm going to follow the path I believe in. That's what I set out to do as king. Let's just make sure Randolph's remains get back to the Empire for a proper burial.
When it became clear what transpired, Lord Randolph bid me, and only me. He did this so I could tell you, Lady Fleisch, how his death came to pass.
He did?
The King of Leicester used us as decoys. He was able to seize victory by leaving us for slaughter. Think of how tragic it is that Lord Randolph should be cut down in the prime of his life.
He was left to be slaughtered? They must pay for what they've done. I swear to you, dear brother. Please, I implore you, gather what soldiers you can. Skilled mercenaries too, I will empty our vaults. Borrow money from the Count.
But Lady Fleisch, whatever for?
For revenge against the King of Leicester. I will have his head.
I have to say, I'm still not used to this new look of yours.
That makes two of us. But it will bother me less once I'm on the battlefield.
I sure hope that's the case, because we've already got our next job lined up. We're going up against the Alliance again. Oh, no, wait, they're called the Federation now. Well, you know who I mean. To be honest, I'm feeling a little uneasy about this one. It's probably just because they're paying an arm and a leg for us, but be careful, okay?
It's been a while since we last gathered here. I wasn't sure there'd ever be another round-table conference again.
It's still a good way to pool our information, right? Much easier than trying to hunt each of you down individually.
But Is it really okay for us to be sitting here with everyone else?
Should us commoners even be here at all?
Of course. I want you all here. And if you have something to say, don't hold back, all right?
If that's the case, then I'll just say it. I'm starving!
The same goes for Goneril territory. If anything, things seem more stable now than before. That's why I'm able to keep fighting alongside all of you.
This is also true of Edmund territory. I guess no one in Leicester is all that upset about Lady Rhea becoming our enemy then.
I doubt most commoners would even recognize Rhea.
Then it seems we've avoided the worst-case scenario. All that work from the Eastern Church must have really paid off.
Best hope of ending this war quickly while maintaining our independence. To be clear, I'm not suggesting we burn our way through Fargus, pillaging everything in sight. Yes, we're going to defeat the kingdom and wipe the Central Church off the map. But we're going to do so in a way that spares as many lives as possible. And that's why you're all here. I want to tap into your collective wisdom to figure out the best way to go about this.
So you finally decided to rely on your friends a little.
Should retreat and regroup.
What did you expect? You practically waltzed right up to an enemy patrol.
I thought if I pretended to be an ally and struck up a friendly conversation, they wouldn't notice.
That's why I tried to stop you. Not even the greenest rookie would mistake you for an ordinary soldier.
Regardless, it was a learning experience, so our efforts were not entirely in vain.
They've probably got a bunch of search parties out looking for us. We might draw too much attention if we're together. Splitting up will improve both our chances. I'm sure you'll have no trouble on your own. Finally. Don't know how, but I made it back without getting spotted. Took longer than I expected, though. I wonder if Holst got back before me. He knows this area better than me, so I doubt he got lost. Could he have been captured? Huh? Is that Holst?
What's that? Ah, you made it. Apologies, I must have dozed off. I was up all night fighting.
Hilda, did you get hurt at all?
Nope, I'm totally fine. I'm super glad we won that battle today.
Me too. But it was touch and go for a moment there.
Is that what it seemed like?
I mean, you were way up in the front with me.
What can I say? When I saw you up there, I couldn't help but chase after you. Despite all that stuff I said, I guess I do still worry.
But I thought worrying about people like me was a waste of time. Let's keep going.
I'm serious. You shouldn't have any more to do with me. It won't end well.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Marianne, we're supposed to be leaving on our scouting mission soon. What are you doing?
Sorry. I was trying to organize my squad's provisions, and things just sort of spun out of control.
You always do this. Would you please just ask me for help instead of trying to do it all yourself?
Yes, I'm sorry. Why don't we just head out on that mission? I can finish this later.
You know what? Don't worry about it. I can handle a little scouting mission on my own.
But
I think cleaning up this mess is more important. You'll help her, right? Marianne really isn't good at this sort of thing.
You don't say.
Just make sure you stay with her until it's done. Promise me, okay?
No can do. I promised Hilda I'd stay here until the job was done. Speaking of which, where is she?
Yes, it has been a while,
You worried about her?
I am, actually. Would it be alright to leave this for the moment and go check on her?
Yeah, sure. This pile of stuff isn't going anywhere.
And besides, Hilda's far more important.
Hey, when you're right, you're right. Let's go.
I'm exhausted. I thought this was going to be one of those quick in and out kind of things.
We're lucky we got out of there alive.
So, Marianne, what were you trying to say before about your crest?
Yeah, something about how people shouldn't get involved with you. What was that about?
Oh,
You know what? Forget it.
Forget it?
She doesn't have to talk about it if she doesn't want to. All I care about is that Marianne keeps smiling.
Guess you weren't much different back when you were a professor either. Why don't you let me help you?
How could you tell?
You're not exactly hiding it. You nearly busted the chapel door clear off its hinges.
I'm looking for someone. She is injured.
Huh? Did someone go missing from the infirmary? Wait, are you talking about an enemy?
Not an enemy. However, she fled when she saw me.
I've never seen a boar that big. If we take it down, we'll eat like kings. Kings!
Hang on. You don't just rush into a fight against a beast like that.
Don't worry. I've got my fists. Now lead the way, meat buddy.
All right, fine. Anyway, as I was saying, if we aren't adequately prepared, we'll be the ones who end up as someone's dinner. Boars are naturally cautious beasts, but this one also appears to be wounded. One trip, a certain prince bagged so many animals it proved impossible to fit them all on the sled. Meanwhile, I went off hunting on my own, encountered the boar, and barely escaped with my life.
Wait, why would Dimitri want to kill you? Or do you mean like—
While this may not be the same boar—
hold on, who are we talking about here?
I'll share the spoils with you, but the kill is mine.
Wait, but if you take it on by yourself, won't you just lose again?
Guess you weren't much different back when you were a professor either. Why don't you let me help you?
How could you tell?
You're not exactly hiding it. You nearly busted the chapel door clear off its hinges.
I'm looking for someone. She is injured.
Huh? Did someone go missing from the infirmary? Wait, are you talking about an enemy?
Not an enemy. However, she fled when she saw me.
I ever do.
That is not my intention.
I know that. But you'd probably still scare the life out of someone who's already jumpy. Even a beast would turn tail and run if it caught sight of the Death Knight.
Then, what would you suggest? I will never capture her at this rate.
Why don't you just let me help you? You know, strength in numbers and all that. She wouldn't be able to get away if there are two of us out looking.
It is vexing when she flees, yes. But this matter does not require assistance. Time is wasting. I must go.
Wait, Yuritsa? Is he really gonna be okay?
Well, I suppose I do feel a bit more confident now, since we made it home safely. It proves things can go well even if I happen to be there.
Okay, thinking like that is just plain silly. I mean, the only reason I got in trouble in the first place is because I went there without you.
The lesson here is that when you two are supposed to do something together, actually do it together.
Exactly.
All right.
Hey, so did you finish that little cleaning project?
Cleaning project?
Organizing the provisions for Marianne's squad. Did you—
Oh, right.
Well, that's a big fat no.
Look, Marianne was worried, so we stopped what we were doing and came to find you. Still, it was our call, and we'll take the fall for it.
You were worried about me, Marianne? Really?
The time has finally come to invade the kingdom.
What? Are you scared, Lawrence?
Do not be ridiculous. Of course I am not frightened.
Keep a careful eye on your surroundings as we approach the border.
We're still a ways off from the border. I think we can afford to relax for the moment.
Enemy attack!
What? Did the kingdom get the jump on us?
No, Your Majesty. That flag the enemy's flying, it's General Randolph's.
Randolph? That boy must hate you so much he came back from beyond the grave to haunt you.
I wasn't fast enough.
We were too late. Not much we can do now.
Your employer is dead and we have you surrounded. I think it would be wise to lay down your arms, don't you?
Looks like we have no choice.
Geralt's mercenaries have surrendered. That wraps up this battle.
You should join us. I mean, by now we all know firsthand how strong you are. And sure, there might be some folks here and there who have reservations about you fighting on our side, but they'll definitely come around once they see how dependable you are.
What do you say? I doubt the Empire will have any jobs for us after all of this. No better time for a fresh start.
I agree. This is so...
All right, let's just keep those tears in check, Leone. There's no need to make a scene.
Why is Leone crying?
Apparently that mercenary captain trained her when she was a kid, but she hasn't seen him for years.
Oh? And you must be the famed Ashen Demon, yes? Allow me to welcome you to the Federation.
I'm so glad you're on our side now. You know, now that I can see you up close, you really aren't that terrifying after all.
would you mind demonstrating your power for me later? I'm curious to see if it's crest-related.
And hey, if you ever need a lifting buddy, you just let me know.
As you can see, we're thrilled to have you here. You know, it feels strange somehow. It's as if some part of me has been calling out to you this whole time.
I'm just happy to have another powerful ally on our team. Aren't you, Mariam?
Huh? Oh, yes. It's a pleasure to be working with you.
I'm not lost. I know exactly what I've got to do. Win this war. I'm gonna help Claude and my friends usher in a new age in Fodlan. Well, any snarky follow-up for that?
I suppose that's a fine goal. It's certainly worthy of the powers you command. If that's what you want, then I'll just have to help you achieve it. After all, I'm your partner in destiny. I'm here for you and you alone.
To finding an answer to that question.
Well, we've managed to secure the immediate area. I'd say that makes our landing a success.
Clearly, the kingdom was not expecting our sudden appearance this far north.
They sure weren't. A certain somebody's suggestion to take the unexpected route was right on target.
Technically speaking, it was my suggestion. Your head, but I considered a myriad of options before arriving at that proposal.
And we have Nadir to thank for helping us make our sea dreams come true.
Oh, it was easy enough. All I had to do was secure an official order from the king. None of our merchants would dare disobey that.
You managed to convince the king of Elmira to sign off on this?
Convince isn't exactly the word I'd use.
You did what now?
It sounds to me like he had no idea what he was signing.
Not as if it's a big deal. We just borrowed a few boats for a bit.
And let's not forget all the assistance Margrave Edmund gave us either.
That's right. Being able to use his ports certainly cut down the length of our voyage.
I'm glad my adoptive father was able to help.
Shortened though it was, I can't say my stomach enjoyed the trip.
Good to see you're all as relaxed as ever. But let's get back on task. Our plan's working so far, but we've still got a lot to do.
Judgment upon sinners.
Defeat is unacceptable.
May the goddess protect me.
To war and victory!
Return to ash.
I can still fight.
Accept your fate. This is the end.
It's not over.
Yeah?
Foolishness! Time to learn your place. Atone with your life!
No mercy!
There!
Maybe I should have held back.
You must reach higher still!
To dodge that.
Not sure dodge is the word I'd use. I just let my power loose without even thinking. Guess I'm still no match for you.
Give yourself a little credit. It took everything I had to keep up. If you could avoid an attack like that, then you're easily on par with me.
But you barely even used your power. You know, the one that throws off your enemy's perception or whatever. I wouldn't have stood a chance if you hit me with that.
So you've noticed it.
How could I not? We've fought about 1,000,000 times by now. So I'm painfully aware of the damage you can inflict.
Sorry about that. I couldn't afford to pull any punches back then.
It's fine. Water under the bridge. So, have you had your power for long? Where'd you learn it? I was kinda wondering if I could pick it up myself.
I only became aware of it when I was fighting hard against you. But I don't think it's something a person can learn. Even I barely understand how it works.
Right, gotcha. Sounds like we're in the same boat then.
Yes, just two strange people with even stranger powers. And I'm not only talking about your sword.
Hmm?
Do you ever feel like there's some sort of mysterious presence within you?
Oh.
It's just that sometimes it's hard to tell what you're thinking. Like you get distracted by something from time to time, almost like you're talking to someone else. Inside your head.
A little more, shall we say, tasteful. Real, under-the-table kind of stuff. It's a pot that makes people like you. I would probably recommend against it. You okay there?
I just remembered something. There are lots of scary people out there who pretend to look nice just so they can prey on you. And you must be one of them!
Well, that was weird. I'm not that scary, am I?
I think we've done as much as we can today.
Well, this is new. You're not usually the one suggesting we take time off.
That's because there's been too much to do lately. I haven't had the chance to showcase my natural laziness.
Come on, I don't think there's a lazy bone in your body. You really should take more time for yourself, Claude.
I'll consider it.
Your Majesty, an urgent message has arrived from Deirdre.
Uh-oh. This can't be good.
The city is being attacked by the Almyran Navy, and they're calling for any aid we can provide.
Still, we might be able to send a couple of folks. How about me and Judith?
You? But you're the leader of the entire army.
Well aware of that, thanks. But as luck would have it, we've got a bit of time before our next battle. Besides, Judith and I know the terrain, which means we've got the best chance at ending things quickly.
Going back to Deirdre will be a stroll in the park for the two of us.